Hey everybody, it's Aaron from the Kilby Life, bringing another Kilby Life reaction video. Just a normal guy. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, so I'm looking on the internet for people to help teach me about health and health science and low carb, carnivore type diets. Dr. Ken Berry is in the forefront of all of this, and he just came out with a video called Red Meat Causing Inflammation in Some People. Research proven 2023. I've not seen this video. I'm excited to see what happens. Let's get into this.
Red meat is known by millions of people all around the world as a very inflammatory food. If you eat red meat, it will cause inflammation in your body. Now, we're going to talk about that in this video. And there is a subset of people for whom red meat, even talking about it, is very, very inflammatory. So we're going to look at the science behind this claim and look at some of the mainstream opinions about is eating red meat inflammatory or not.
You got me.
Talk about some actual meaningful research. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you the subset of people who really do experience inflammation when they think about or eat red meat. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician, and I try to bring you meaningful research to show you all the different parts and aspects of a proper human diet. And this video is going to be part in that series. So first, let's go through some popular media outlets and see what they say about red meat.
This is going to be
inflammatory. So first, we'll start with Consumer Reports, a very conservative bastion protecting consumers and their money, who I have great respect for. But in their article about how to follow an anti-inflammatory diet, they list red meat as directly triggering inflammatory responses in the body. Next, we have Harvard Health Publishing. That sounds important, doesn't it? They say that red meat causes inflammation. They don't say it may or might or possibly. They just say it does. Next, we have RealSimple.com. They list red meat as the #4 most inflammatory food evidently on the planet. Next, we have Women's Health, not a bastion of scientific research, but still read by millions of women around the world. They list red meat as the 3rd most inflammatory food that you can put into your mouth. And then we have GoodRxHealth.com. They list red meat as #4 as the most inflammatory food on the planet. And then we have Insider.com. Millions of people read this website every day. They list red meat as #2 on the most inflammatory foods you can eat list. Then we have Cleveland Clinic. Now, you would expect them to only publish things that are research backed. They list red meat as the 3rd most inflammatory food that you can eat on the planet.
This is crazy.
Now, when you look up the research that Cleveland Clinic and others use to support their position that red meat is very inflammatory, you'll find observational studies, you'll find pseudo-mechanistic studies, but you won't find any randomized control trials in humans. For some reason, they don't seem to favor that sort of research, even though it's the most powerful research on the planet for telling us, for revealing what's true and what's not true.
I mean, then it wouldn't fit what they're selling.
True. And so when I went digging into the literature, I actually found a meta-analysis of randomized control trials in humans that once and for all will put to rest, is red meat and the eating of it inflammatory or not? So here's the study.
Before he even gets to the study, I'm going to tell you my opinion. No, it's not. After 10 months on the carnivore diet, no, my inflammation is way down.
Published by the American Society of Nutrition in their journal back in 2021. So let's be very clear about this. This is a meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials in humans. This is literally the strongest form of evidence we can possibly have with regards to nutrition. This is not an observational study. This is not a pseudo-mechanistic study. This is a meta-analysis of RCTs, okay?
It's not just somebody's feelings.
And let me read very clearly what they found in this meta-analysis of multiple randomized controlled trials in humans. They say total red meat consumption for up to 16 weeks, that's 4 months, that's pretty long, does not affect changes in biomarkers of glycemic control or inflammation for adults. Now, that they didn't really equivocate there, did they? That sounds pretty clear. And one of the main markers of inflammation they used is a C-reactive protein, or a CRP. Now, between the time of you watching this video and 2021, when this published was studied, there has been no other meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials updating this. So at this point in time, as you're watching this video, this is the state of the art. This is the best study in humans about whether red meat causes inflammation or not. And it found unequivocally that it absolutely did not cause inflammation in human beings when they ate red meat. Now, let's talk.
I don't mean to stop, but I just thought about how much money is put behind these other foods, like processed foods and all the garbage. And there's like all this attack on red meat. Why aren't there more studies done by farmers of red meat? Unless there are that I don't know about. Getting this information out there to people. Is it being pushed down and suppressed? I don't know. Gets me thinking.
Talk about the population that evidently do get very inflamed when they hear about or eat red meat. So it seems when you look at each of the websites that claimed that red meat is inflammatory, such as Cleveland Clinic and Harvard School of Public Health, they believe very strongly.
Let me guess. They're going to recommend a plant-based diet.
In a plant-based diet, they've got a preconceived notion.
I did not watch this first.
You should avoid red meat.
Too
and
easy.
that you should eat lots of plants. Some of them say you can eat some fish or some poultry, but all of them say without a doubt you should minimize or eliminate.
Hey, don't tell me what I can and cannot eat. I can eat whatever I want. I'm a full-grown adult and I'm buying it with my money. I choose to eat healthy. Okay? Run and tell that, homeboy.
Eliminate red meat from your diet. So it turns out, that the only way that red meat causes inflammation is in the minds and the hearts of plant-based believers. It seems that in actual humans who are eating the meat, it doesn't cause any inflammation whatsoever. But if you believe in a plant-based diet and you hear about someone eating red meat, you're liable to get mentally inflamed. And so any of you guys who enjoy red meat or who have been avoiding red meat because you really believed it was inflammatory, I put a link to this study down in the show notes so you can actually read it for yourself. Read the entire study. The full text is available at that link. And then the next time that your doctor or your dietitian or maybe even your mama says, oh, you should cut back on red meat, it's very inflammatory, you can hand them a copy of this study and tell them.
All right, well, treat your mama with respect. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Or, can I appeal with this study? Here's some more information that you might not have heard about, Mom. Man, doesn't that get to you? He got me with this. He probably got some of you too, but he got me with this one. But there's an all-out attack on red meat. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for it and that people are coming up with, but at least from my experience, red meat has really, I feel like, saved my life. The ability to eat good, nutritious, satiating food that nourishes my body, keeps me full, and keeps me, there's nothing like it. If you haven't gone to Ken Berry's channel and Dr. Ken Berry's channel, make sure you do so. Like his video, subscribe to it, but make sure you also like this video and subscribe to this and send me any other reaction videos you want me to do. My goal is not to be overly negative or overly a critic. It's usually not helpful, but I want to bring all the information I can to regular moms and dads and just regular people. Are we just going to go out and search all these studies? I doubt that. All right, thanks for checking out this Kilby Life reaction video. Kilby out.